All right. I'm just going to quickly go over the sponsors. So our sponsor is Fight Aesthetic Asia. If you use code BJJ Asia, you get 10% off all products except from the Legacy Gi. And a shout out to Stay.Lean Foods. They provide me with protein supplements, foods, and chicken protein shakes as well, which are pretty damn good. So thank you to them. So today's guest is one of the Malaysian Jiu-Jitsu OGs. He's the owner and head coach of Leverage in KL, and his name is Aaron Go. So Aaron, thank you for having us, being on.
Thank you for having me. I'm humble, and it's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So I have a few questions I want to ask.
Of course.
Loosely, but we can flow any which way you want, basically. Sure. So how did you start training Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, mine is a rather unconventional story. I started training Jiu-Jitsu because of my love for movies. So I grew up, with my late father, who would just, like, his idea of quality time would literally just be us watching Steven Seagal movies, Van Damme movies, Schwarzenegger movies. So I grew up watching action movies, and the one thing that I really enjoyed more than the car chases or the gunfights was the fight scenes. Yeah. But you know how it was back. Last time you would watch the fight scenes, you would be entertained. But a big part of me knew, like, this shit, it doesn't work. Yeah. It's just movies, right? So I never really paid much attention, but it did give an impression on me that men should know how to fight, should be able to protect themselves and their loved ones. So it inspired me at age 17 to start going to the gym. I was lifting weights, but I was always fascinated by martial arts. Always, right? And I had always questioned what would work and what wouldn't work. Yeah. Kind of like, Bruce Lee in the old days, like take what works and discard what does not work. So it wasn't until I saw, of all things, a Donnie Yen movie. Yeah. Right? And he was just doing punches and kicks and throws and joint locks. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, man, let me find out. Because I had never heard of Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't know what MMA was. Like if you ask most people, how did they start Jiu-Jitsu? They would probably have like a UFC story. Oh, I watch UFC, but I had literally just only watched pro wrestling. Yeah. Right. So I didn't know anything about MMA or UFC. But when I watched this Donnie Yen movie, I was like, okay, this looks like something that could work. This looks like something that, is like, for lack of a better word, functional, right? So I found out eventually, of course, that it was mixed martial arts. I found out he actually had to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for it. And that was why in the movie there were throws, joint locks, and there were like a lot of positional controls, like a back take and a mount. So I thought, wow, I gotta learn this. I remember thinking to myself, I must learn this. And actually, the first instructor I tried to hunt down was Adam Kayub. Yeah, so he was Malaysia's MMA pioneer, right? So he was the first guy that I wanted to hunt down. I actually turned up at his gym in Bangsa, only to find out he had moved to Bangkok. Right? But someone else was teaching, so I figured, fuck it. I enrolled, but they did not have a structure for beginners. Yeah. And so my first lesson was the rubber guard. Okay, so... And the instructor was not a small size guy. Yeah. So he was like he looked like Kung Fu Panda, and he was doing rubber guard. And I was like, okay, look, there's just no way in hell that I could see myself ever doing that. Right. So, I stayed at the gym for 3 months, and every day, literally at my office, I would Google Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I would refresh, until one day, a result came out, and it was, for Marcos Escobar, BJJ. Yeah. So I showed up, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
So how did he actually come to Malaysia?
Oh, he came to Malaysia because he was actually attached to a fitness gym. Ah, okay. I can't remember if it was Fitness First or if it was Anytime Fitness, but it was one of those like gym chains, right? So he was a Les Mills, kind of like Southeast Asia head instructor or something like that. Okay. Yeah. So in other words, he's based in Malaysia, and anybody who's inclined to be a Les Mills instructor would be certified by him. Right. Yeah. So that's how he ended up, but obviously that was what pays the bills. And he was still very passionate about Jiu-Jitsu, right? So he decided to start a small class. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how, I met him, and that's from whom I learned from initially. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So how long were you with Marcos Escobar for?
Until about 20 21. So that would be like maybe at least 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
16 years.
Because that's still the dominant association in Malaysia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is because it was the first association.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember just whenever you see like any kind of Malaysian teams coming over and competing in Bangkok or like Philippines, it's usually you see BJJ basically.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember speaking to Poppy from Penang, and he said that there's three places you should train in Malaysia outside of his gym. It's going to be your gym, Leverage.
Thank you, Poppy.
Yeah. It's going to be wherever Bruninho is, because he used to be at Monarchy, but now he's at Hikari, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And then number 3 was at Abang's gym, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abang Saif.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So you're now part of Lux Lepre Association, and you're kind of like independently running your own gym now.
Correct.
And you're not part of the former association.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Just like what happened to most of us, the pandemic, right? So I still remember it was January 2020, and this was before COVID was declared a pandemic. But I remember things were already like brewing. And there were still competitions being organized in Malaysia, even though other countries had already stopped organizing competitions. I remember telling my students, hey, look, I think something's up. I don't know what it is. I heard about this thing called COVID. Don't compete until I figure out what this is. Eventually, I realized it was, at that time, quite bad. And there were a lot more questions than answers. So I also told my students not only to not compete, I decided also for the sake of one of my teammates who had a stage 4 cancer, I decided, look, no more cross-training. Okay, so as you mentioned, I was part of an association, and being a part of an association meant that we would cross-train.
Yeah.
My gym was the HQ. So, at least once or twice a week, everybody would get together, which is fun, and just train. I decided to put a stop to it because I had to be responsible for someone who was at that time and now still is immunocompromised. Because one of the earliest things about COVID that I knew was that it affected anyone who is immunocompromised or if you have comorbidities, right? So I announced to my association, I announced to my friends and teammates, like, look, no cross-training, okay, until we figure out what are we dealing with. So I remember Marcos called me and said, hey, aren't you overreacting? I said, no, I'm not overreacting, right? I know everybody wants to train, but I need to figure out what this is for the sake of my friend. I mean, look, I believe in doing the right thing, and that is it. Eventually, what I decided to be right became the world standard. Like, I decided this in January, and in February, I believe, a lot of other gyms, especially Jiu-Jitsu gyms all across the world, they too decided to not allow cross-training. Yeah. The reason for that was to, keep things within a bubble, right? And to not kind of have things out of control. Yeah. So what I initially proposed for the sake of a dear friend turned out to be like a worldwide accepted policy, you see? So I think that upset quite a lot of people. But what really pisses me off until today is the majority who complain not being able to cross-train never supported my gym when I had to shut. Yeah. To me, that's the biggest irony. Yeah. So you say, hey, Aaron, you're being a little bit of, like a high nose, like not allowing cross-training and all that. Maybe. And I can accept that argument and your perspective, but when my gym needed help the most, where were you? So you make all this fuss about cross-training, and not once did you check up on me and say, hey, Aaron, how's the gym doing? So you were concerned about cross-training during the pandemic, but during the pandemic, when I had to close, you never check up on me, and you never wondered, hey, once this is all over, will the gym still be around for us to cross-train? None of them. The only individuals who supported my gyms were my students, and the only people who was really responsible for the survival of my gym was Bernardo Faria. Yeah. Yeah, I won a BJJ gym challenge, and it was his gym rescue initiative that allowed my gym to sustain until we were able to reopen. So when I saw the lack of support from my own association, And then I was chastised by Marcos for doing the right thing. I was never even extended an apology after that, you know. I decided, you know what? I've put up with a lot of shit for many, many years. You know, I'm literally that guy whom over the past years, people have just poured gasoline on, right? They keep pouring and pouring and pouring. And one day someone takes a match, lights it, throws that match on me. And when I'm on fire and I make noise, they ask me, hey, Aaron, why the fuck are you shouting? Why the fuck are you so upset? You know, so I've literally had to sacrifice so much that I decided, you know what, for now, based on what I've seen, I'm going to do things for me and for my students. Yeah, so that's why I left the association, which was a big deal, you know, because I was his right-hand man. I was also really responsible for elevating the name of the association. But I felt that I no longer wanted to represent him or the association. And I decided, you know, I would go with Lucas simply because I already had a relationship with him. And I felt that he represented values and principles that I too would like to embody, you know, and, you know, have my gym be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it came about.
Right. So what would you say like the jiu-jitsu scene in Malaysia like is overall then?
Truthfully, it's very toxic because it's very divided. Yeah. You know, so you have like small fractions headed by individuals who are going through midlife crisis. You know, it's like, it's like you guys are so old, right? Your balls probably sag so much that you need to wear tights all the time. And you guys are behaving like kids. You know, a lot of them, when I left the association, they actually kind of like made my friends choose alliances.
Yeah. So basically they kind of drew a line in the sand.
Yeah, like I mean, look, I don't expect everyone to like me. Yeah. But your perspective of me, which is totally fine, should not be forced upon my friends, you know? It makes things so awkward. Yeah. And it's totally unnecessary. You are perfectly entitled to think what you want of me. But the key thing is this. Look, we're all doing jiu-jitsu. We all love jiu-jitsu, you know? Why behave like kids in a playground fighting over a girl? Yeah. That's how they're behaving, you know? So that's how it is at the moment, you know, because to be honest with you, a lot of the seniors in the Malaysian industry, we came up through the scene together. Yeah. Right? So these fuckers are not young. Yeah. Right? But they behave, you know, like kids, which to me, you know, you are just dividing people and it's toxic when we could all be working together. And here's the best part. They do preach that. They do preach like, oh, you know, I believe in training together and working together. But at the same time, behind the scenes, that's not how and what you are. You know, so it's unfortunate because we do have great talent in the scene, but everyone is so divided, and everyone is like, oh, you know, like if I train with Aaron, I can't be friends with this person. Yeah. If I'm with this gym, I can't go and talk to Aaron. You know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So that's how the scene is, you know, and the other thing about the scene is also a lot of the other black belts who are foreigners, they encourage this like God worship culture. Yeah. This is the one thing I can't stand.
I hate it.
I hate it. You know, it's like, look, you're just a BJJ black belt. That's it. Okay. Stop encouraging your students to worship you like a God. You know, like all this, like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I don't even like my students bowing to me. I don't even do that.
I hate that.
Yeah. Right. Right, man. I don't even do that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, I don't know. You know, I know some people say, you know, Aaron, it's a martial art, it's tradition and all that. But sometimes we got to question tradition. Yeah. You know, to me, I'm a business owner. Like yourself. Yeah. You know, we run a gym and our dedication is to the well-being and to the progress of our students.
Absolutely.
You know, they pay us fees and that allows us to do what we love. Yeah. Pay the rent, keep the gym running. Why the fuck do I need you to bow to me? Right? Absolutely. What's next? What's next? You know, what's next? What's next? Like, so, okay, so bowing and then what next? If I feel like it, can I ask for a hand job? You know, what's next? Where do we draw the line?
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Where do we draw the line? You know, like even in my gym, I don't even have this thing, you know, whereby a white belt cannot ask a black belt to roll.
Yeah. I didn't hear about that until quite recently, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing, you know?
It was like when I first moved to Bangkok, I heard about that because like a brown belt asked a visiting Brazilian black belt to roll, and then that Brazilian got really pissed off, smashing him for no reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So Matt, so you imagine, right? You're in a school, right? And then the blue belt who's paying you fees asks you to roll. But because you're a black belt and you have like this, you know, like, I don't know, this thing that's like affecting most men, small penis syndrome. And then you decide, oh, it's so disrespectful. Come, let me show you the ways of jiu-jitsu and I'm going to smash you. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Like, this is just, you know, this is just parts of the sport that is very prevalent in Malaysia that I frown upon.
Yeah.
You know, with my teammates, there's no like belt hierarchy. To be honest, I even tell them just because I'm a black belt, it doesn't mean I'm better than you. All the black belt around my waist means I've done this longer than you.
Yeah, basically.
That's it. So maybe you should listen to me. Maybe. I'm not saying you must. Maybe. And if you see value in what I'm trying to teach you, why don't you try it? And if it works, adapt, adopt.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, discard. But that's who I am, and that's all that I am. I'm not like this God that you must worship, you know, and bow, you know. It's ridiculous, man. You know, I can't stand this shit.
Yeah. Bangkok tends to be quite a transient place, so you get a lot of visitors coming in. So you get different teams, different visitors from different countries, right?
Yes.
So when they come up to you and like kind of like, I see them bowing on and off the mat,
right?
And I just say we don't do that here. Number one, right? Yeah, exactly. And then if someone calls me professor, I'm like, no, my name's Mac. It's fine. Yeah,
Same.
We don't do that kind of stuff here,
right?
I just find it really odd.
It's odd, right? You know, look, professor is the title that I've earned once I'm a black belt because. Again, if you didn't buy your belt and you actually earn it, it means you are, as a professor, able to eloquently and properly teach jiu-jitsu. So you're like a professor in a university.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need my students to call me professor.
No.
You know, you can call me Aaron, bro, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything. Coach, teacher, anything that you're comfortable with, I'm okay. But I never like being called professor.
No, me neither.
Never.
It's a strange one.
You know. So it's.
Yeah, certain places are they still kind of uphold that tradition, but I feel like I don't know why they do that. Some places, I mean, some of them they have portraits of like, you know, like their former instructors. And you
I know, right?
Afterwards.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a shirtless picture of myself on the wall. I'm going to make them bow to it. That's what I'm going to do, right? Just for my own ego.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Unless I'm dead, I don't want my picture on the wall. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
I don't need anyone to be paying respects to me prematurely.
Yeah.
Save it for later.
Absolutely. So when and how did you get your black belt?
Well, I didn't get my black belt, you know. I was actually given my black belt.
Right.
So this is the one thing that I'm actually quite it has not sit well with me, you know, since I got it in 2020, you know. And this is something that I've only publicly spoken about because you asked me, you know. And I never wanted the black belt, never. And simply because I felt that at brown belt, I had unfinished business. So I love movies, Matt, and I've always felt like I wanted to craft my life like a movie. So like any movie, you got to have a beginning, a middle, and a great ending. One of the great endings I wanted for myself at brown belt was I wanted to be a Masters World Champion. And also because I had a very serious neck injury. So I felt my competitive career, because of my neck injury, it's very short. I don't know how long my neck can hold up. So I remember when my professor Marcos at the time, who was in Malaysia, I remember calling him, right? I remember calling him. I gave him a phone call because I knew he was going to give me the black belt. I knew. And the reason why is because he was in town for that period. And I know he wasn't sure if he was going to be back next year or the following year, you know. So I know he wanted to create this hype. You know, he wanted to promote a whole bunch of us, like more than 6-8 of us, you know, as black belts, myself included. But I remember calling him and I told him, you know, hey, look, Marcos, you know, I don't know, respectfully, I don't know if you're going to give me the black belt, but here's who I believe you should give it to. So I mentioned my teammate who had stage 4 cancer. I said, he deserves the black belt more than me, right? If there's anybody, all right, who has shown great determination, resilience, it's him. Like, I don't even know if I can go through what he went through and still be as strong as he is. So he deserves the black belt. But for me personally, I told him, you know, I feel I have more that I would like to accomplish at brown belt. And of course, like any Brazilian, they don't listen to you, right? And I got my black belt. And the moment I got my black belt, guess what? The pandemic happened. Right? So I couldn't compete. I couldn't do anything. And, you know, I felt that the moment things open up, I had to almost like restart from scratch. And it's not easy restarting from scratch after the pandemic, right? Because it was so expensive to travel to compete. And it wasn't easy with the way sometimes my neck would act up. So things were much, much more difficult. And this is something that, again, has been a huge learning lesson. So whenever my students, right, I'm so close to my students that even if they know that they are going to get promoted and they don't want that belt, I have actually had students come up to me and had a very serious conversation with me. And I actually respect those conversations because I understood, right? So I wish I was not given the black belt. I wish I had been granted the opportunity to accomplish more at brown so that at black, if and when I do get it, you know, I could maybe focus a lot more on being a great teacher and a good coach, because I felt that that's where my value totally lies in, rather than some aspiring World Masters champion with a fucked up neck. You know, because I don't want to live life, right, regretting anything. And I don't want to pursue a dream and then end up having to fall back on an excuse that, yeah, my neck is fucked. What am I supposed to do?
I think I saw something on YouTube when you were actually discussing that neck injury as well. That was quite a long period where you had like a really bad
Yeah, so I mean, you know, man, Jiu-Jitsu today is not like how it was last time. You know, last time when we trained Jiu-Jitsu, you know, it's because, you know, primarily, you know, we wanted to be tough. So, you know, I was younger, I was stupid. So people would like catch me in guillotines and strangles, and I would just tough it out. I would just tell like, you know, no, I'm not going to tap. I'm not going to tap, you know, and years and years and years of repetitive stress to the neck, you know, like literally, you know, the MRI showed like not a normal neck would have a curve. Mine is just like straight. My neck is straight. It's like a fucking erection. It's just straight, right? There's no curve. It's just straight, right? And I've got 3 herniated discs, you know, so it's very, very difficult, you know, and it's something that I have to manage. You know, but you met Min, so thankfully, you know, she's my trainer, and she's also someone who has been helping me rework a lot of the things that I do that previously did a lot of damage to my body. Right? So she has had to undo a lot of my bro stuff. And if it wasn't because of her, I would not be the black belt I am today. I just wouldn't be. I just wouldn't be. You know, because I was a typical bro. I would do jiu-jitsu. My jiu-jitsu style is very pressure-oriented. And then I would fucking go and do bro stuff like bicep curls and deadlifts. You know, so everything is just tightening and tightening and tightening the body. And she was the one that reprogrammed everything. During the COVID, she worked with me a lot. And she really changed the way I understood my body. And yeah, it's only because of her that right now I feel like, okay, I may have a fucked up neck, but I can work around it and then pursue my aspiration.
Hindsight is really 2020, like especially when you get injuries, you just realize, okay, I wasn't training smarter. And it's when you get a little bit older as well, you realize when you start slowing down a little bit, it's like, oh, I can't tough it out like I used to, you know, so you got to be a lot smarter, sleep better, eat better, train better. You got to pay a lot more attention to the things that you used to just be very nonchalant about. You know, like you mentioned, man, you know, like the diet, especially how much you sleep, how well you recover. And I find that as I get older, less is actually better. You know, so instead of training like 6-7 days a week, sometimes 4 and 5, you know, it's good. It allows the body to recover, and then I can do better with each session. That's another thing as well, because like, I mean, how many classes, could I ask, how many classes a week do you teach?
Teach one. So I teach more private lessons than classes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I have to. I have to, you know, because I'm running a business in Malaysia, especially my gym, because it's on the ground floor, right? So my gym is not like 3 floors up where you know, like in the raid movie, you go up, you might get raped, murdered. You know, mine is ground floor, so it's safe. And being on the ground floor in Malaysia, it costs a lot. Right. But it's nice. It's nice because it's ground floor. So you have a lot of natural light. You know, the place is very airy. So I teach about like five classes a week, but I teach more private lessons, you know, just so that I can keep the gym afloat. It's not easy because what a lot of people also don't know is that I am the only gym that doesn't have a sugar daddy.
It's the way you say it. It's awesome.
So,
yeah.
No, really. So
yeah,
really.
Yeah,
so,
completely.
So
Yeah,
every fucking gym in Malaysia has a sugar daddy. Yeah. So I don't give a fuck what they have to say. Oh, no. Fuck you. All right. Most of the coaches, you know, if you're Brazilian, you're employed. Okay. That's not your gym. And most of the other guys, again, same. They're employed. Like no one in Malaysia is dumb enough to open a jiu-jitsu gym and then earn from it. I'm the only dumbass. Right. So I'm the only dumbass that sort of, you know, I'm going to do this, you know, and, you know, fuck myself in the ass.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. Because, there's a couple of gyms like that here as well. Like there's so basically you get someone that really enjoys jiu-jitsu. They may be blue or purple belt, and then they're like, oh, it's more a vanity thing, right? They decide to build their own gym basically and hire someone, right?
It is.
Exactly, yeah.
It is. That's how it is in Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like that in a lot of Asia.
So I'm literally the only gym in Malaysia, which I'm the sugar daddy, I'm the coach, I'm the student, all right? So that's just me. So that's why I have to teach more private lessons that I would teach classes, but thankfully I have got a great support system. Great support system, you know, so my friends, you know, my senior belts, they are really good. And when they do teach classes, they teach very well. And the other teammates and students, you know, they respect these guys as well. So it's not like a total miss if I don't teach a class. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's not like, oh, you know, Aaron's not teaching class. You know, this guy's teaching class and he sucks ass.
No.
It's still good because I'm a big believer in value. You know, my students, you know, what they pay, it's not cheap. I am one of the most expensive gyms in Malaysia. I am, you know, and it's not because I'm greedy. It's because of my location. I have to. And again, until unless I get a sugar daddy, I have to charge that way, you know, because otherwise we won't have a gym. We won't, unless you want a gym that's in the 3rd floor. And on the way up, you might get molested. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. When Arete came out of the pandemic as well, so we had to move location. Yes. Because we used to be in 39 building called Biohouse.
I remember because I remember seeing Arete on IG and I was like, this is a different location.
So basically, depending on who the landlords are, they're either going to be very understanding or they're going to be terrible, right?
Yes.
So
there's no middle line.
There's no. So they weren't very helpful. So one of the shareholders really took that personally, and he just said, I don't care if they give us a better rate, I'm not staying there anymore. So that's why we moved to the new location. So
would you say it's a blessing in disguise? How's the new location?
Absolutely. The new location is amazing. We're on the 20th floor. The view is amazing. When people come in, it looks great. The space is a little bit smaller than before, but it's still better. And the people have been really, the management's been very understanding as well. So exactly.
So fuck the guy. Then.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck it.
But I remember when we first reopened, obviously we mounted a lot of debt, just obviously because like there was no rent relief, right? Can you imagine paying that off? Right?
Oh God.
Yeah. Right.
Of course.
So that means we're short-staffed. There's like maybe 2 coaches teaching like 12 classes a week and helping out with like kids classes and stuff like that. But what really helped eventually is when you figure out, okay, mentor your senior belts and then get them to start helping out. So they can manage the beginners program or help out with some of the kids program.
Precisely.
So then that means you can manage how many classes you have to do. Because, I mean, like you said, you get older, you can't train as hard as you used to, right?
Yeah.
So that means probably you have to kind of like lessen the amount of classes you teach. Because if you spread yourself too thin, each class, the quality drops, obviously,
and that's the last thing you want to do to your students.
Exactly. You know. So, I've reduced my teaching to roughly around 4 to 5 days a week.
Yeah,
well.
right. Yeah.
And then obviously there's privates as well.
Yeah. So I think 4 to 5 for us, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice, honestly. I think anything less, it's being lazy.
Yeah.
But 4 to 5, I find, I don't know. Do you find like your body recovers better?
It does, yeah.
Right?
It does. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I remember just like maybe every 8 to 12 weeks, I'd have to travel, go visit family, stuff like that. Right before I had to travel, because I was doing so many classes in private, I'd end up I'd think, okay, I'll go home and to Japan and do a little bit of training. But each time I'd have something wrong with me. Like I had like staph infected bursitis in my elbow.
Hey.
I had like staph in my knee, so I couldn't like do anything or train or anything. So yeah, just your body will tell you, right?
100%.
Exactly.
You know, and as we get older, we got to pay attention to what it tells us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say the environment in Malaysia could be better. Let's
100%
just, a nicer way of
yeah, could be better.
So what do you think it would take to accelerate the growth then?
Well, I think we will get there thanks to the number of competitions that are being like organized there. You know, like this year, we're going to have actually like ADCC.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
so
awesome.
that's awesome. Right. So, you know, I'm happy that people who are in a financial position to do so, they have decided to invest. So actually we've got like in June, 2 competitions that is like, we've got like the ASJJ, which is happening on a Saturday. That's gi. And then the very next day it's no gi.
Yeah.
So we need quality competitions like that. Right now we do have competitions, but a lot of the competitions like the Malaysia Grappling League, like those are all amateur competitions, right? It's just organized by one gym. All right. And everything is just biased.
Yeah.
You know, the brackets are biased. Everything is biased. And it's meant to just kind of like help that gym market or, you know, help the students win, which is bullshit. Right? Bullshit. So we need bigger competitions like ADCC, ASJJ. Copa is doing a great job as well, you know, and we need more competitions like that to elevate the scene. Because when you have more competitions, these competitors, they'll bring their friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, relatives, and all that to come and watch. Before the pandemic, Copa did a really good job organizing competitions in a very particular shopping mall. And it was great. It was great, you know. So we need more of that. We really need more of that. The more quality events we can have, the more the scene will grow. Because I was there. I was there when everyone thought Jiu-Jitsu was just like, you know, a bunch of like sweaty men trying to strangle each other. I saw the growth of Jiu-Jitsu through amateur MMA that was organized in shopping malls and done on a very grand scale. So it's doable.
Yeah.
But there has to be people who have a vision backed by as many sugar daddies as possible. You know, because, I mean, look, it takes money. It takes money to grow things. So I believe the more people are willing to invest in quality events, the better the sport will grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's consistency as well that really matters as well.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Man. You know, you're absolutely correct. Because like, again, I was talking about the amateur MMA, they were organizing it for like, I think it was like 5 years in a row. 5 years in a row, you know? So we need something like that. We need something consistent. You know, Copa is doing a good job, but the current organizers just need to pick better venues and stick with it. Previously, they stuck with the venue. So people would anticipate, people would know the venue and they would plan, you know, their training and things around that. So we need more of that. But the organizers of the current ASJJ and ADCC, shout out to them. They are really doing a good job, you know, and I'm very happy because it's not easy. Yeah. Organizing competitions, it's a fucking thankless job.
Horrible.
It's horrible.
It's horrible, yeah.
Okay, all right? It's almost like being Santa Claus and you got to give like presents to all kids, even though half of the kids are fucktards. But you got to give it to them, right? Whether they are nice or not. If not, you know, people are not going to like Santa Claus anymore. So that's what organizing a competition is. You know, everyone wants the fame, the glory, you know, posting on social media, I want to go, man, all that. But no one understands, you know, the amount of work and effort that goes behind it. It's a lot of work. So really, you know, shout out to the organizers who are doing these competitions. You guys are doing a great job. Really.
Yeah, it's pretty, because I helped out with AJP and we do, I'm one of the main organizers for Siam Cup as well.
I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. My sincere condolences, man. Wow.
It's a
thankless job.
It's not too bad because I'm kind of like doing the back end stuff. So it's like, I feel like I would never referee. Never referee.
Yeah, okay.
Or I'd never give out like medals.
Right. Okay, so you're more behind the scenes. Yeah. Okay, that's better.
So it's not as bad.
Yeah, that's better.
But it's, you give people plenty of notice and on the day of the competition, they're like, oh yeah, they'll start complaining like, oh, like you didn't tell me about this, you didn't tell me about that, and you're just like, we told you, I don't know, like every single week, 10 weeks before the event,
of course,
and you're still complaining now.
Yes,
so it's just it happens.
No, people are never happy. They always have something to complain about. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, ADCC, they're really growing around Asia just now. It's awesome.
Great. Yeah,
I think you
awesome.
competed at one in Singapore, right?
So I did the one in Singapore,
Yeah.
you know, in which unfortunately I lost in 20 seconds, you know, but it was so well organized.
Yeah.
Okay. So shout out to Shinya and the entire Singapore Federation for like doing that event. And it was such a beautiful thing to watch, you know, because when I was there was nothing like what I observed in the Malaysian scene. So in the Malaysian scene, you get all these guys who are mostly white and blue belts thinking they are the next Gordon Ryan. Okay, you know, they walk around like fuck you. All right. You're never going to be Gordon Ryan because by the time you get your blue belt, you're going to quit.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to quit and after that, you know, you're going to do something else. Whereas in Singapore, right, there's none of that hostility. None of that. Look, but when they compete, man, you know, because Singaporeans, right, you know, maybe they fight for everything. They really, really scrap, right? But I tell you what I saw after that, beautiful sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's scrap, let's do our best. But after that, we share this bond of mutual love for the sport, right? I don't see anyone, you know, maliciously trying to injure. I mean, look, ADCC is wild. Okay, it's wild. You can look at the recently concluded trials in, I believe it's the West Coast trials. It's wild. You know, you fight out of the competition area, they don't stop the fight.
Yeah.
It goes, right? And it's as close as you can get to a real fight minus punches and kicks. You know, it's wild. So when I did that competition, I was like, man, this is something that Malaysia needs.
Yeah.
Right? Malaysia needs this. And then we can really take it to like the next level.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, I'm really proud. The thing is, I had explored doing it myself, you know, as an organizing the competition, but it was so expensive.
Yeah.
You know, so I was involved and I had initiated early negotiations, but I just could not live with myself, you know, to, you know, like suck dick for money or something like that. And then, you know, do ADCC. I just couldn't. It was so much money. But when I found out someone else was willing to invest, you know, and was doing it, I was like, great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny story, actually. I went to the first inaugural ADCC Open down in Pouquette.
Ah, yes.
Right.
Yes. How was it?
I'm in Masters division now.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah. So there was supposed to be 5 people in the division, and I ended up getting a bye.
Okay.
So there's 2 people competing. I'm Malaysian. You're a student.
Who?
Tijun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, you fought Tijun?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, if I didn't see him competing in the first round, I wouldn't have known what he was going to do.
Okay.
He went up against an Indian guy, locked him in 2 seconds, so I knew exactly what he was going to try and do in the finals. And obviously, it's an 8-minute match immediately, right?
Okay.
No points during the first 4 minutes, right?
Yes, correct.
But obviously, if you pull guard, what happens? You get a negative point.
You get a negative.
Yeah. So then he kept on sticking his leg out towards me when we competed each other. It was incredibly inspiring to see him because, like you said, he's got stage 4 and he's like still fighting, right?
Yes.
And then a few weeks after that, he went to Singapore and he won, didn't he?
Yeah. So that's the one that we did together. You know,
incredible.
I know,
right?
I know.
I just found it so inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, what a small world! I did not know you had a match with him in Phuket.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Phuket with him, you know, but I had like some financial constraints, so I just did the Singapore one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a small world! It's so amazing.
Like you said, sportsmanship, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
it's incredible.
It's just one of the most beautiful things in this world that I find we need more of.
Yeah.
You know, we need more of. Everyone is like, oh, this world is so angry. You know, everyone is so disconnected.
Yeah.
We all should fight more.
100%.
You know.
Yeah.
Right. You know, we should fight more because, you know, in that fighting, that's how we gain that mutual respect.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the world should be a meritocracy, right? You're not supposed to get like a participation trophy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's not the way we're headed, unfortunately.
Yeah, it gets a little bit soft these days.
Yes, very soft. You know.
So, how would you value the current trends in jiu-jitsu right now? What do you think of the future of jiu-jitsu? I mean, let's say overall, and how do you see the future growing in Malaysia as well? Like trends as in, it could be anything between gi, no gi, what's going on in the gi competition or even in the no gi competition.
So I think no gi will be the main driver. All right. But the growth of the sport actually hinges on the characters within it.
Yeah.
that's one thing that a lot of people don't talk about, If you look at what drove Nogi, is obviously because of John Danaher and what he's done. That's one thing. But also people don't give Gordon Ryan enough credit.
Yeah.
Right? And then now, you've got Nicholas Marigali, who is a very, very unique athlete in which he does gi and no gi exceptionally well. So for me, I believe the sport needs more characters like that. The more we strive to create a character-driven art, the more it can grow. It's kind of like if you love movies, you will have a favorite actor or an actress or even a director, right? And then that's how movies grow. And that's how this sport can grow. It's not good enough to just, have events. We need characters. We need people who can inspire others to take up the sport because they want to be the next Gordon Ryan or they want to be the next Marigali, whatever it may be. It's kind of like last time, like Marcelo. Everybody was like, man, I want to be like Marcelo. I want to be like Rafa Mendes. I want to be like Corbinia.
Yeah.
But now we live in a day whereby social media is extremely prevalent, so actually anybody can be a character. Anybody can be someone who can inspire. So we need more of that.
Yeah.
Yes. We need more unique individuals to stand out. Yeah. Another great example, up and comer, Joseph Chen.
Yeah.
Joseph Chen, because he's got such a remarkable backstory.
Yeah.
Being so young, how he kind of like took to the sport, how he actually understood the sport by just pirating instructionals and then training throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we need more stories, more characters like that.
Yeah.
The more characters we have within the sport, the more the sport can grow, is my opinion.
Yeah. In terms of Joseph as well, what I tend to find is just that like short period of time that he's managed to like progress as well, right? So there's something to be said about how things are taught and how people are learning at the same time, right?
Definitely.
Because back in the day, like I don't know what kind of structure it was in Malaysia, but it's just like you bring the arm across and then you throw the leg over. All right, we're all going to spar now.
The structure in Malaysia is the same now than how it was like, 10, 15 years ago. So it's 30 minutes of CrossFit.
Yeah.
Right? CrossFit, you do burpees, you do jumping jacks, you run, you pick up coins, which doesn't exist on the mats, and then you do backward runs. Okay, you do a whole bunch of CrossFit shit. And then you do maybe one technique which the instructor feels like showing.
Yeah.
Okay, totally not connected to what you were taught yesterday.
No structure.
No structure. Okay, and then he says, okay, guys, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it's just sparring for like maybe like 3 or 4 rounds. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Right. So the way jiu-jitsu nowadays is taught has to be structured.
Yeah.
Right. The instructor, which I'm sure right? Because you would have had to sit down, devise a curriculum and then share, right, to your students over the course of like many, many, many weeks.
Yeah.
So there has to be a curriculum. There has to be a what, why, and then towards the end we tie everything together.
Exactly.
And that's how students learn. You have to teach in a coherent manner. You have to teach systemized. You cannot just wake up, feel like, okay, porra, man, today I'm gonna show amba. Caralho, today I'm gonna just show de la riva. You can't do that, But last time that's how it was, and then after that's another day, guys, okay, guys, look, we're gonna do side control escape.
Yeah.
But that's how I was taught.
Yeah.
And one thing I've learned, because that was how I was taught, to not teach this way. Like, don't fucking teach this way. So, again, I think instructionals that are sold and marketed by BJJ fanatics has played a huge role.
I think so, yeah.
Right? But I can tell you, for me personally, my initial inspiration for teaching was Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall, because he was one of the earliest guys, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can like just ignore his constant blinking, right? If you can just put that aside.
I think that's Tourette's actually.
Tourette's, right?
Yeah.
Thank God he was blinking, right? And that was it. Thank God he wouldn't show an armbar and say, listen, fuck, cunt, suck my dick, like thank God he was just blinking.
Yeah.
But he was my early inspiration,
Yeah.
I mean, his earliest instructions was just like on a fucking green mat and like a
curtains in the back.
Back. It looked like a Thai B2B massage center, right? And that's how he was doing instructionals, So Ryan Hall was obviously, the purveyor of like, hey, this is how, like he taught everything systematically.
Yeah.
And then of course, thankfully, John Danaher. You know, I really learned a lot from Ryan Hall and then John Danaher. I know a lot of people say John Danaher is very long-winded, but I really, that's just me. I really actually can relate very well to how he
That's
teaches.
who I study the most. I'd say.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't get enough of him.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, like if I see a YouTube Danaher like clip, it's 40 minutes, man, I get a huge boner. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like, let's go, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring out the lotion, coconut water. That's it. Yeah.
Just sometimes you understand like the first part of whatever's instructional is going to be it's going to be very long, but at the same time, before you even go into the technique, you need to understand the why behind everything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. And do you know, Matt, he teaches that way.
Yeah.
Because I was fortunate enough to attend a Danaher Death Squad camp in Singapore at Evolve.
Yeah.
Right. And this was before they split up. And that's actually how he is.
Yeah.
So he would lay out like the entire like why. Okay, why are we here today?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Right? He's going to lay out everything. And then sometimes it might be him teaching, or he might pass it on to Gordon or Nikki.
Yeah.
Right? Or even Gary Turner. Yeah. So he's just amazing. Really, you know, I don't get the hate.
Yeah.
I really don't get the hate, man.
No, I mean,
I really don't get it. You know, like I met him in person and he's like fucking Yoda.
Yeah.
He's you know, so I think he deserves more credit than the hate that people are giving him, you know, because saying, you know, he's long-winded and he's just, you know, overemphasizing things. But to me,
well, I mean, he is the golden standard.
He is.
Sure, yeah.
He is the golden standard. He is.
Yeah. Moving on to yourself. What's the most influential or biggest achievement in your career so far?
What's the biggest achievement in my career so far?
Yeah. It can be competitive or it can be just like, for me, I don't really, when I compete, I don't really care about like what I want or like winning or losing. I don't care. Sometimes I just want to like scrap, right?
Yeah. So for me, I think definitely, you know, it was my win in 2017 and 2018.
So Pan Packs, right?
The Pan Packs, you know, my win in 2017 was a big deal, you know, Matt, because leading up to that, I had a lot of self-doubt. Even though I was a brown belt, I always had that dark passenger at the back of my head. So it doesn't matter how much I train. It doesn't matter how well I did at other competitions. There was almost always a dark passenger in my head that would always tell me, hey, Aaron, you know, you're not going to win. You know, you're not that good.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah, you know, and it was the first time that I actually talk to this dark passenger in the mirror. I still remember that morning. I actually talked to this dark passenger. I look at myself in the mirror. I talked to this dark passenger and I told the dark passenger, today, you are not going to win. I'm going to win, you know? And I rocked up to the venue with so much confidence. Even when I saw the height and the size of my first opponent, he was a Brazilian. He was tall, right? And he definitely underestimated me. Definitely underestimated. And I remember walking onto the mats with him when the ref called us, and the whole stadium went silent because they were thinking, okay, this is going to be a Pornhub clip. This is going to be tall, big Brazilian man, ravaged, small Asian like a hamster, for sure. Right? No, really, the whole stadium was silent. And then when the match started, you know, I put guard, scramble, you know, I took his back. He didn't want to tap, so I ended up putting him to sleep, right? And I remember on the podium, you know, he asked me for a rematch. He said, hey, let's do absolute. I said, sure, you know. But unfortunately, the registration had closed. But that was very influential. Again, like you said, you know, I don't place too much value on medals, you know, but I place a lot more value on the lessons I learned about myself. You see, that's the thing about competition. That's what I tell my students. I don't care if you win or lose. I don't need you to market my school. If I want to market my school, I'll do it my fucking self. I'll go out there, I'll put myself out there, I'll fight, I'll win, I will lose, and I will face my wins and my losses with dignity. But I don't need you to do it for me. The main thing is if you want to compete, you compete for the lessons that you will learn, because these lessons will serve you for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Like when I got my hand raised, it was surreal. Not because, oh, you know, I won a gold medal. It was because I conquered myself. I had so much self-doubt, man. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like anyone who knew me then and they look at me, they wouldn't believe that, Aaron, come on, you are our coach and you don't have confidence in yourself. Yes, I don't. Half the time, if not all the time, I'll doubt myself, you know? So that was the first thing. And that lesson is so important because as a coach, I need to be able to be an example to my students. And I want to be someone who have enough experience to tell them, hey, listen to me when I tell you, you can do this. Listen to me when I say you can win, even though you think you cannot, because I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
So if I can do it, and I'm a nobody, I'm nobody. I'm not gifted. I'm not talented. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the quickest. And if I can do it, man, you surely can. So that was the first. And the second was when I injured my neck almost immediately after. It was like literally 1 month after, like the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows. My neck injury was so bad, right? And it happened kind of like in, I think, January 2018. It was so bad, you know, that almost every single specialist in Malaysia that I saw, they just told me, look, fuse your neck and retire. You know, say you're young. You know, why are you doing this sport? You know, like you're young, just do something else. Yeah. You know, because they could not understand the concept of, look, I want to go back, right? And they're like, why you want to go back to something that broke you, right? They cannot comprehend that.
No.
But from the lowest of lows, I decided, you know, just like any good movie, you need to rise from the ashes and accomplish something so that your life can be a legacy of inspiration. So the same year when my neck was so fucked, I told myself, I'm going to find a way and I'm going to win. The same year that my neck was fucked, I'm going to win Pan Packs again. I'm going to be on that podium again. And I did it. I did it. So that to me, 2017 and 2018, it is not the medals. It is because I now am a man of enough value and enough accomplishments to be able to help my students do the same. Because you cannot tell your students or teach your students how to do anything if you yourself have not done it. That's why my pet peeve is this, right? Look, in Malaysia, we have a lot, right? We have a lot of trainers who are out of shape. And if you're out of shape and if you look like all you eat is Twinkies, okay, you cannot coach someone. I'm so sorry. You know, I know people are like, I don't have time. Look, if you don't have time, your clients don't have time, right? So if you can't do something, how are you supposed to teach somebody something, right? It's like, look, I'm short. I'm not going to teach you how to play basketball. Okay, I'm not. All right, so be realistic, you know. And I find, Mac, that over the years, this logic has almost disappeared. Now, if I say, people are like, oh, Aaron, you know, you're not woke, you know, you're like, you know, being like, you know, like biased or you're discriminating. No, I'm not discriminating. The logic is this. You do not and simply cannot teach someone anything that you haven't done before.
Exactly.
You just can't.
No.
I don't know what fucking world we live in nowadays, right? So if the trainer is a guy and he has tits, he cannot teach you how to have a chest. Okay, it doesn't work that way. All right? Okay? Right? So yeah. So for me, 2017, 2018 was a significant accomplishment, not because of the medals, not because of the titles, but because I now am someone who can tell my students, hey, if I can do it, so can you. So my words have value. It has substance, you know. I believe, you know, Matt, as men, we need to be men of substance. That's what's lacking. Nowadays, men are just full of fluff, physically and up here.
Absolutely.
How then are we supposed to be looked up as teachers or coaches? We don't deserve to be called professor or a teacher or a coach unless we become one worthy and deserving of teaching. And hopefully our students will want to emulate. People can argue, hey, Aaron, that's a tall order, but hey, that's the minimum requirement. Absolutely. No, it's not a tall order. No, it's a minimum requirement. If not, don't do this. Don't do this. Get the fuck out. Do something else. You know, go give hand jobs or a B2B massage, you know, but don't do this.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm always really interested when I speak to other like competitors or coaches or gym owners.
Yeah.
So I remember I was speaking to you get a lot of travelers, right? And for some reason Australians really love coming to Thailand. So
everybody loves
everyone, it's true, it's true. But I remember he was going up to he was traveling around like Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai and stuff like that. So he visits a lot of gyms and trains there, right?
Okay.
And like you said, I've been to Chiang Mai recently, so I just wanted to see where he went because there's only a few gyms, right?
Okay.
And like you said, those 30-minute fucking warm-ups, right? And I remember him saying that, and like I remember thinking, like how are you supposed to like catch up to the rest of the world, especially like America, for example,
right?
If you're doing 30-minute fucking warm-ups, basically, right?
Exactly.
So my question to you is, how do you approach your coaching? Like it can be anything. It can be like how you schedule things on a weekly basis, or what a typical class.
Okay. So the way I structure my coaching is based on being a person of value to my students. So I roll with all my students, right? So when I spar with them, I try to kind of like, I don't, because I'm a black belt, I don't just beat them up just so that I have a bigger dick. I don't need to impose that on you. So when I spar with them, right, it's more of like trying to extrapolate from each and every individual what their weaknesses are. Okay. So if I do 10 to 12 sparring sessions, and I noticed that out of 10 or 12 sparring sessions, out of 10 or 12 students, 8 of them have a problem with this particular guard retention. 8 of them have this particular problem taking my back. 6 of them have a problem finishing an armbar when they've put me in one, right? So then I realized, okay, right? So that's from one session. Then I do it again. Maybe it's nogi. Then I do it again. And from there, I devise a curriculum. So initially, for example, during the pandemic, I realized that leg locks is something that we must learn. So I spent more than a year teaching the entire leg lock system, just so that, because I could do that during the pandemic, but just so that after the pandemic, when things reopen, we are ahead. Yeah, we are ahead. So that's what I did a lot of. And that's really how I structure my curriculum. I never structure my curriculum based on what I want to teach. Like, I'm just lazy, maybe this week I just teach back attacks. Yeah. I structure my curriculum based on what I feel my students need to learn and how they should improve. Every single session, if they do take the time out of their schedule, I respect that. Yeah. Because instead of coming and sweating with me for 2 hours, you could have been doing something else. And most of them, have other responsibilities. So the very fact that you took 2 hours out of that day to come and see me, train with me, I want to be a person who gives you value. So when I teach the class, I try to teach in that similar structure, right? It could be anything and it could be everything, but it changes. And the structure of my classes can range from, depending on the curriculum, sometimes it could be just 3 weeks. Sometimes it could be like as long as like 12 weeks. Yeah. So that's really how I work in the structure. But definitely no 30-minute CrossFit workouts. None.
I remember the first time I came to Thailand, I think it was still there's still like a Health Gracie Association, and like back in the day, like Kurt Osiander and that association were notorious for that. I remember coming into the class 15 minutes late. Oh yeah. And there's still 15 minutes left of the warm up, and I was just like sitting there in absolute disbelief, like, okay, really? Yes. And then there's maybe like 50 minutes of instruction that's sparring afterwards. Yes. I was like,
that's it.
Like, yeah, that was it, right?
That was it.
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
It. Actually, you'd be surprised, like. There are a lot of schools in Asia that still do it.
Still like that, right?
A lot. Yeah. And you would think that with what is shown on social media, like, can't you guys see? Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? Just because they can see does not mean that they would want to offer the same to their students,
Another thing that you said there that was actually really, really inspiring as well is the fact that you said that you learned leg locks during the lockdowns. See, I didn't know anything about leg locks myself. I was stuck in Myanmar during lockdowns, right? So then I just downloaded Danaher's instructional.
There you go.
And then I basically taught myself leg locks.
Same.
I mean, yeah,
same,
exactly.
Same.
At the same time as well, like when you see a new subject and you don't know anything about it as well, like that, there's that part of you that's just like, you know what, screw it. I'll just teach what I know, right?
Right. But you see, no.
You're doing a disservice to your students.
You're doing a disservice not just to your students,
but to yourself. Exactly.
That's the thing, right? Exactly, Max. So that's a really good point, you see. So this is what I mean, right? When I tell my students, that, hey, look, I may not be the best in Jiu-Jitsu, but in KL, Kuala Lumpur, I'm definitely the best teacher. And a lot of them think, like, oh, Aaron, you're being arrogant and cocky. No. Arrogant and cockiness has got nothing to do with my confidence, simply because I know the amount of work that I put in working on my strengths. Not my working on my weaknesses. Working on my weaknesses. All right? Because it's easy to play to your strengths. It's easy to teach what you know. But to teach, like you mentioned, leg locks, I totally did not know any of that.
Yeah.
I had some idea from the Danaher Death Squad camp. But what I did was, during the lockdown, I just watch, sometimes 4 or 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then I would teach. And then I would then like force myself, right, with my students in sparring to play that. I would actually get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
You
have to.
And the thing is this, Mac, by getting out of your comfort zone, especially in an area in which I'm teaching that and I'm also learning, I can get caught.
Yeah.
I can get caught.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, most coaches,
They don't want to get caught.
They don't want to get caught. They don't want to get caught, right? But they are totally missing, the point.
Exactly.
You see, so if I am teaching my students and I get caught, right, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It means they have picked up on something that I have yet to pick up. And that's how I got caught. So it means what? Back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
So as a coach, you got to live what you preach.
Yeah.
Right? Because if your student taps, you would expect him to just just learn the lesson. But a lot of coaches don't put the lesson on themselves.
Yeah.
Who says as a black belt you can't get caught in training? I've been caught before.
Yep.
I've been caught by my student, like by my purple belt students. I've got a really good purple belt. His name is Asang. He's got like the meanest footlong, the meanest, like, because he drives his hip into it. He's caught me. Great. Great. Learn. Learn. Either defend, counter. But if you don't, as a coach, if you just hide for the sake of preserving your ego, you will never improve. And if you don't improve, one day you will pay the price. You will. You either get exposed in competition or you get exposed when a visitor comes by. Yeah. Right? So you would rather your students catch you or a visitor catch you because you don't want to work on your weakness, and then your students see, oh wait, he teaches us this, but he gets caught in that. Yeah. So facing your fears, right, is a very, very important virtue if you want to be a coach. It's not fun. No. It's not fun.
It's horrible some days.
It's horrible.
Some weeks, yeah.
It's horrible. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and talk like as if it's something I enjoy. Nobody likes to tap. No. Nobody. Okay, so I'm not going to act all like as if I'm like this holy person, no, tapping is fine. No, it's not fine. It sucks. But that means there's something you need to learn. Correct. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you are having a bad day and your student drank more coffee than you. I don't know. Maybe he tried a brand new pre-workout. I don't know. Whatever it is, there's a lesson in there. Yeah. That if you can just put your ego aside, you will learn and then you'll be better from it. So as a coach, you cannot just talk. You got to walk the talk. It's very important. And most coaches don't do that. That's why they suck balls. I
agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it is, stepping on the mats every day is a kind of reminder, right? Especially if you're going to put yourself in a coaching position as well. Yes. You need to put yourself in the fire.
Yes. And Matt, you're a coach. Yeah. If you have a student that catch you, right, that's the highlight of his day. Yeah. He's going to go back. He's going to have the best shower. He's going to have the best meal, right? He's going to have the best jerk-off session of his life. He's going to be happy. Yeah. But you know what? So what? No, really. So what? Yeah. Give it to him. So what? Give it to him. Why not? Yeah. Why not? As a coach, if you can give someone the happiness, why not? Let him be happy. Next time you catch him back.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like seriously, Malaysian coaches, I'm talking about Malaysian coaches. I have no right to talk about any other coach. But Malaysian coaches, you motherfuckers, you guys need to be humble. Don't think you're all that, because believe me, you're not. You're not. I've met world-class coaches. I've trained with world-class coaches. Do you know the amount of humility and the amount of humbleness that these guys have, even though they are 7, 8, 9 times world champion? Like Lucas, humble. Like if you met him, Matt, you will love him. Great guy. I met Corbina. Amazing individual. Amazing. When you look at these guys who are absolute legends and you see how humble they are, you realize, there's just so much to improve on.
Yeah.
There's so much in terms of us as coaches that we can improve on so that we can be of total service and of total value to our students. And if you're not striving for that, then don't be a coach.
Yeah.
Just don't.
100%.
Yeah.
So, leading into that, I mean, you've done a lot so far now, but what are your future plans?
That's a great question. To be honest with you, my future plans is to win the World Masters at Black. I don't know how, and it will probably take me at least 5 years, because, even though we are both in Masters, it's no joke.
No.
It's no joke.
There's guys that have been like,
Yes. So being a Masters competitor at black belt is no joke.
No.
Like, you could meet a legend in your finals. Like, my division, the last I competed was in 2022. My division, you know who won it? Shaolin. Vitor Shaolin Ribeiro.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's very tough, but this is my real goal, because like we all live very short lives, and even shorter in our jiu-jitsu careers. There's only so much that we have, to the point where one day we just cannot do it anymore, for whatever reason. So I feel that this is just a chapter in my life that I must accomplish. I may not win it, but even if I can place podium, it is something that I want to have as a bookmark, in my jiu-jitsu career. It's crazy, it's crazy, but it's something that I really, 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 really want. So the thing is, if I were to pursue this over the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't know how I'm going to get the money. So I don't know if anybody is into like Asian 40-odd year males, they would want to be my sugar daddy, they're more than welcome to get in touch with me, There are certain things that I will do, but we can discuss. Yes.
I remember reading that answer. I remember we were first going to do this in a written article, and then I remember reading some of the answers, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this can't be an article. It has to be an interview." And then when you said you were going to come, I was like, "Oh, thank God for that." Yeah.
No, because you presented to me a good series of questions that no one has actually ever asked me before, and I mean, it was very late at night, I remember just typing on my phone, until my fingers were numb, but I was so engrossed in my thoughts, and I was worried that if it did not reply you, I would lose those thoughts.
Yeah.
And I figured, what, fuck it, man. I got to tell him, man, look, I'm going to find a way to be there, and then we're going to do this, we're going to do this simply because I would like to practice what I preach. Like I told you, in our DMs, life is short, fuck it. I'm going to find a way, I'm going to be there, because too many people say, hey, Mac, next time. Hey, one day. And the thing is this, right? One day, maybe next time. Look, everyone has got that story, right? About COVID. Everyone has got that story. Imagine if you were in 2020, January. Yeah, one day, and then look, you lose how many years?
Yeah.
Just like that. No one could have predicted that. So I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from the pandemic, and I believe that, what, if I can make it happen, I will make it happen. Just like my World Masters aspiration. I can and I will make it happen, even if it involves a series of like double hand jobs. Fine, so be it. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Last question is, who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank first and foremost you, for giving me an opportunity to speak. Believe it or not, this is my first podcast.
Yeah.
I've done interviews, radio interviews, TV interviews, but this is my first podcast. And I would like to thank you for an amazing set of questions that has allowed me to really express myself.
Well, I mean, you should thank the good people from the Malaysian community, because they said if you're going to interview somebody, it has to be Aaron.
Oh, thank you. Well, to those who actually volunteered my name, thank you. I'm surprised, but yes, thank you, because I'm a very polarizing figure in the Malaysian community.
Well, you can thank the guys at Aesthetic.
Yeah.
They said that's going to be a great interview. You can thank Hafa.
Yeah. Hafa. Yeah.
Hafa
nice.
said,
Okay.
Yeah.
Hafa, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously Poppy as well just said,
Yes.
you have to. If you're going to train in KL, go to Aaron's place. If you want to speak to him, get him on the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you to each and everyone who have mentioned my name, put my name forward, and said good things. Really, I appreciate each and every one of you. I would like to thank also Min. She's someone who's been with me through thick and thin. If it wasn't for her making me a better athlete, I really don't know, if I would be sitting here opposite you, confident in my articulation and what I have to say, because she has literally transformed my health, my body. I would like to thank also my students. They were the ones who actually kept my gym alive. They were the ones during the pandemic who told me, you know what, Aaron, we're going to keep paying fees. Okay. We need the gym. We're going to keep paying fees. All right. And we're going to make sure, that the gym is all right. To the many people who've actually kind of like supported me throughout the pandemic, you guys have no idea. You guys have no idea how much that meant to me, because there were many people who wanted to see me fail. There were many who wanted me to just close down and be like a male stripper. But, you guys really, kept me. And I also want to thank, most importantly, my haters, because the more you hate, the more I want to accomplish, and I realized the only reason you hate me is because I am someone that you could never be. I don't blame you. If I were you, I would hate me myself, but it is their hate. It is their constant wanting to disparage me and their constant wanting to tear me down that has made me into the man I am today, so I'm going to speak my mind, I'm going to share my thoughts, and I'm going to continue to live a life of purpose through my students. And hopefully one day when my competitive career is over, I can have a body of work in the form of my students who have accomplished so much because of Jiu-Jitsu, so if they are better brothers, sons, daughters, husbands, wives, because of Jiu-Jitsu, I want to look back and say, okay, that's a life well lived. That's what I really want. So I'm very thankful for everyone who has given me an opportunity. I'm very thankful for everyone who have supported me. Believe me, without you guys, I'm nobody. I still am nobody, but at least to some of you, I am somebody. So thank you. Thank you.